Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ajit Panda. I am from National Institute of Science and Technology, Berhampur. Again, everybody are talking, you don't know Hubli, Karnataka and all that. I belong to Orissa, 200 kilometers away from Bhubaneswar main place, 40 kilometers away from Mahabadi area. And there actually I am talking about these productizations. Again, I will not ask like Professor Sattar asked where the Hubli is. Berhampur, nobody might have known you. Many of you might have not seen it, not known about it, but very good people, few people like Professor Sodagopan, Professor Dr. Mahapatra, Vivek have visited my institute and far away from Bhubaneswar. Actually, sir. Thank you, sir. So basically, uh, people are talking about, as it said, that Netra and the so-called incubation center, and we are not in the main places, we are at far away, particularly to the teachers community, I'm telling it, please do not mind it. If we have an interest actually, I think, wherever we are, we hardly matter actually whether we have incubation center or not, whether we have some foundation or not. It hardly matter, I think. If you have the passionate and if you have interest, then actually I think we can able to do it. And this Netra, ISA or ESSCI, everybody are ready to help it actually. And what actually Vivek told it, I will talk about a small part, what actually in the line of Netra we are working it and how actually we have done successfully and productizations we have done it. We have created a chip as it is told by Vivek, and I think you know how many institutes have created chip from India. To my knowledge, only 14, 15 colleges have fabricated the chip practically, and one of that actually we have done it. And morning what Dr. Vivek told about Mahapatra sir, that he looks for the productizations. And since he also belongs to Orissa, therefore we are following him and we are looking for the productizations. We are looking for productizations. So that's what actually we are doing. And it is on the Netra's India Chip program. The problem statement basically, electronic technology transferring in a rapid manner and all that. I don't want to talk about it, why it needs and all that. I will come to the point only. Few solutions is industry institute must have to come together. As it is told it, everybody, why? Academics have to learn the industry techniques, which actually we are failing it type. I feel it like this. We must have to learn it, how to work with them and when. Because you see, let's say suppose you take the help from an industry, they may help you on Sunday. And as academicians, we should be ready to work on Sunday. Or they will help at late night. Then we should be ready to help, ready to work on late night. So that we must have to learn it. And we must have to learn it, instead of publishing papers only in IEEE ED or IEEE MTT, we must have to learn it how to transfer it into the product actually. That's actually what we think it. And as Vivek tell it, we should have some center of excellence where instead of one college, 2, 3 colleges or 4 colleges comes together and do some things and interact with the industry so that the things can come up. Keeping it in mind actually, we formed one called the ECOE, Center of Electronics, Center of Excellence, Electronic Center of Excellence. And through that actually our objective basically is 3 parts. The primary objective is provide quality training across the domains of electronics. Actually we are saying that we are giving training, we have the summer training, we have this, that. But practically speaking, that training must again lead into the productization, or that training must lead into the industry. So this is first part of Mahapatra sir, we are doing it. So we partner with Electronic Skills Center of Excellence recently, and we are trying to provide the quality trainings in both lower level as well as in the high level. And our research with productization focus in industry and academia platform, and successful research results leads to incubation for successful startups. This is the 3 objectives of our Center of Excellence, which actually we are trying to have it in Eastern India through Netra. And therefore what we should do it? Should we go for the hardware? After once we thought it with few peoples, and when we formed the teams, what should we do it? Whether we should go for hardware, software, or what? But again, my words is there. India has not made a single diode also commercially till now. All of us are talking, we have done this, that. A diode which cost 25 paisa also we have not fabricated commercially. If it is, I don't know. India is good to design and analyze. Therefore, why not we should do the design, implements, and fabricate the IC outside for people like us basically. This is the what philosophy actually we are thinking. And for that, we need to learn the software, mathematics, industry type of things. And keeping that in mind, actually, we started this chip creation program, that why not we should design it in India, fabricate outside. That we kept it in mind, and we design it. And when we started thinking about it, actually, the many companies we talk, and since people like Vivek comes across us, so he assigned few engineers from Shankal Semiconductor basically to help us. So Shankal Semiconductor initiates to start this chip creation program. Later on, actually, few more companies came. That's what I will tell you. The form a group of faculty and students from institute sides. From Shankal Semiconductor sides also, they assigned 1 or 2 people who should work on offline, and we decided what to do it. We talked through Skype and all that, and what actually we do it. We started the brainstorming, and we decided that we should have a IC, we should have both analog, digital, mixed signal. Usually what actually the Indian IC have come from different institutions, either analog or digital like that. So why not a mixed signal IC should come? We thought it like that, and we decided that we will work with the EMC 180 nanometer for analog, Faraday 180 nanometer for digital. And when you talk about this, why you need the industry, and when you talk about the theory and practical, basically, you see, if you get this digital library getting by the industry and getting by an academic institution has a hell and heaven difference. Because to the academic institutions, the company is giving free of cost, whereas to the industry, the company is giving with the money. Therefore, everything they give it. Whereas when an academic institutions ask it, they will give only the abstract level. And on that abstract, you have to work it. That's the difference, basically. And we decided that we will fabricate it in IMEC, that through IMEC, basically in UMC. And once we decided and once we started the work, actually, what I want to say, automatically the companies are there who are ready to help it, actually. And when we started with the Shankal Semiconductor, after that, one more company, ASIC Gen Camps, they said that formal verifications will be done by us. Whatever you have done it, final go ahead, we will give it. After that only you will go for fabrications. Samtech also came out. They also said that they will help it. Then Srini from TESOL, a few TESOL engineers I met it morning. TESOL had been to Bhubaneswar, and yeah, Anant is there, who has helped basically in the back end part a lot. And first time I met him, I had not met him, but he assigned some of his people. And Srini had been to Bhubaneswar, and we told that, look, we are doing it, and it needs the characterizations. And characterizations cost a lot, or the PCB making will cost a lot. How can we do it? We may not be able to do it. And maybe that, the engineers who are involved may not be that much competent. Then immediately they say, Srini connect with the Ananta, and he immediately connect with few of his engineers like Ganeshan and all that, who actually test and verify and say that, yes, whatever you have done it, it will work properly. Until and unless they get goal, they say that, yes, go ahead, we had not gone for the fabrications. So like that, actually, many companies came across, and they did it. And naturally, we got encouraged by ISA, ESSCI, and of course with the Odisha government also. And what we did it, actually, again, everybody talking about the Internet of Things, so we also say that why not on Internet of Things. But people talks in the applications level on Internet of Things. Physical level, if you see it, I'm not going in details. Physical level, if you go it looks some things like this type, actually. Like this type, you need a microcontroller, you need power, you need digital filter, you need register. And IoT for sensors, basically, if you look it, universality is not available. Therefore, what actually we are planning it, our whole goal at the end, this product we have to get it finally. So keeping that in mind, I am not talking in details about, anyone who is interested can talk it. Keeping that in mind, actually, first we decided that why not we should go step by step. Therefore, first we did one IC using these three, a digital filter, this voltage regulator, and registers. Therefore, it have the all mixed signal, analog, digital, and all. This part we did it, and it is called the Mercury, as it is said it, has all these parts. Now, just one line I will tell it. When we go for this one, we look for a filter, for example, 32 cross 32. So industry and academic difference is, if you look for filter 32 cross 32 filter, therefore you need 32 pin in input, 32 pin in output. If you put 32 pin in input and 32 pin in output, it is 64 pin. Each pin costs $150. Therefore you have to think it, can I change it? Can I make it 1:1 type? Like that actually many things comes while you are doing it in academically and while you go to the industry or while you have to do it in practically. And it has to be done in the 1500 micron cross 1500 micron area. If you look for that, you can go for a larger area. If you go for larger area, you will reach more money. So that type of problems comes actually, and all that actually we did it. And all that actually lead, what actually Vivek told it, to the cadence design contest. And for last 3 years, we are the cadence design contest winners. And I will tell it, I will tell it to the teachers basically. There are rewards also. In first cadence design contest, as a students got whatever the money and whatever they got it, I got a Apple computer. Second one, they were again giving me an Apple computer. I said that no, I will not take. So you give me something, so that they gave me iPad. Third time, when I said that, again I got it, again they were giving me, so I said that no, I will not take it. They gave me an Apple iPhone. Therefore this time, so
they have to invent a new product.
That's what I'm telling, sir. Therefore, this time, yesterday it has been advertised, and they have said that Apple Watch, they will be giving it the first prize this time. So this is what actually the final IC, and the bond pad diagrams, what actually we have done it, got it. And this is what actually inside it looks like. And since it is first one, so I say that I requested this Netro and all that I will give my name only. So I put it my name. Actually, the other colleges are also involved on this one. And this is what actually the final board which has come out. This is version 1, we are telling it. And again, as I said, it characterizations, it needs a lot of money. One network analyzer, you need some 60 lakhs, which you cannot do it. For that, actually, we got the help from TESOLV for the measurement and Sankal Semiconductor. And this is the test setup, which actually you saw it now. So this is one network analyzer. Now, if you give me a network analyzer, I have that hardware. This is the hardware, which actually the board. This is the board, which actually is there. And this is the IC, which we have. Now, this IC, you say that, many of you will say that it is a big IC. The nowadays IC is small one. We can make it small, give us money. Very simple. Because we went for DIP pin. Because each DIP pin, if you go, each of these pin actually cost $20. If you go for this SMDP type, each of that will go $300. Therefore, it is based on money only. And size, basically. We could have put on different kind of pins if we had more money. Therefore, it is on money. And hence, we are looking for, from the industry as well as the academic institutions to collaborate together. All this has cost around 3 to 5 lakhs. At 180 nanometer technology, this can be changed it into lower technology also. But lower technology, let's say if you do it in 18 nanometer technology types, the same chip will cost 40 lakhs. Therefore, we thought that why not we should go once at 180 nanometer and see it first, and after that you decide if you want. So this is what test setup. And this one we are calling it as the Mercury, this one. And as I showed you, the second one we will call it as the Venus, which actually already the work has been started. Few colleges have combined together and different parts has been assigned to different people. And the second chip, the tape out will go on December 2017, where another one part will be there of the same IoT universal sensor. Third one we will call it as the Earth. Like that actually will go it. And we are expecting that 2020 around we will have a full products, IoT product as the universal sensor for interface for IoT. That's what actually our aim is. And this is what actually the changes from Vision Summit 2016 to 2017. Already last times we were talking it, the people were talking, institute will do it type, but this time institute has done it, has characterized, and results has been published. So our commitment in 2017 is to tap out the Venus and schedule kick off and all that actually we have done it. That's what is my talk only, so thank you. And this is what the silicon is. Anyone who wants to see it, this is what this pot, what it looks like actually. It is the whole IC, and that actually has been taken and tapped out. Therefore, that looks bigger one only. This black one, what actually you see, that's only the silicon. So, thanks to many people who has helped us to make it the success one. Thank you.
Request her to talk for 5 minutes on basically skilling that she's doing and how she's basically kind of was working with IESA for starting the incubation, also skilling program that we're looking at from North Karnataka. Thanks, Nalini.
So, a good evening, early evening to all of you. Sir in the audience and the ISA that has invited me here. I was supposed to be part of the panel discussion, but due to some work that I need to urgently go and attend, I will just tell you what we are doing in the department. And should there be any questions which you do not have answers for, even after all the deliberations, my email is available on our website and also with the organizers. Please feel free to write. So the Department of IT, BT and SNT has been involved in not just as an interface of the government for industry interaction, but also grassroots level innovation, skilling, capacity building and enablement. So I have a list of projects which the ICT Skills Development Society, which I head, is been involved in. We run the Electronic System Design Manufacturing ESDM Skill Development Program, which is supported by the METI. We are the state implementing agency, and one of the key implementing agencies of this particular project is the Electronic Sector Skill Council. Mr. Mahapatra had mentioned to you about the hundreds of courses which he has. About 80 courses across services and manufacturing have been listed here. The list is still growing. Any of you who's interested to choose the courses which are available, there is funding in the government, and I want to certainly go on record for this, that we are finding it hard to spend money because people get this courses, people enroll, the students enroll, and they do not take it till the end. The dropout and enrollment ratio is very, very pathetic. So I think this is academic community here. These are courses which are from level 1 to level 5. Please mobilize, please coordinate with us, please coordinate with ESSCI. Srinivas is here, he is the Bangalore face of ESSCI. The courses are from 8th standard dropouts all the way till non-engineering graduates. So most of you are primarily engineering, I think, institution, but you also have associated institutions where diploma and polytechnics are run. So dispense this information and let us all work together. So for this particular project, I think we are all on the same team, mobilizing and mentoring students. This program has got a back-end industry linkage. Every student who's certified is certainly given at least 2 opportunities to attend an interview. And the payments that are made for the training providers are also linked to the placement of the candidate. So this is a bigger and a broader program that has been running. Now it's in its 2nd year of rolling out. Then there's another program called the New Age Incubation Network, which the department has been running for the 3 years. Here we have funding support for student innovator groups who are given with one mandate of identifying a local problem and using technology to solve it. We handhold any particular group of students for 2 years. First year is capacity building and ecosystem building. Upon their selection, a funding support of up to 3 lakhs is given to the selected group to be able to develop a prototype. Funding is also made available for them to travel and attend capacity building workshops and conferences. There is provision also for ensuring that they take part in events of the department and the government and industry bodies like IASC to come and take part. This particular project is now in its 3rd year. This program runs only outside Bangalore. So we have 9 districts whereby 10 projects from each of the 9 districts have been funded. First group of 90, we got 247 ideas, out of which 90 got funded. 1 year of post-funding, the results are that we got 74 working prototypes. We got 7 incorporations already and 8 incorporations in process. So there's going to be a 15 companies which have been incubated. And we got 2 patents which are awarded, one in Mysore and another in Belgaum. The second batch of 90 students, they have been selected, and then funding has been given and prototypes are being developed. So this is another way of capacity building and enablement which we are doing. This particular program of chain of incubation centers, there is a provision to expand it. So far we were doing only in engineering colleges, but there is absolutely no reason to restrict this innovative flair to engineering. And in the second phase, now we are planning to expand it to non-engineering institutions, science, postgraduate science colleges. The proposals have been received, reviewed, and final meeting is yet to happen. It's just round the corner. So very soon we would have covered about more than certainly 9 today, and let the proceedings get signed, then I can tell you how many more districts are covered. The another project that has been also sanctioned by the government is Technology Business Incubator. Here funding is provided to institutions which are keen to establish a sector or a domain specific TBI. Funding is provided for equipment grant, manpower support, and other logistical requirements that the institutions may have. This is a 5-year funding possibility. Unlike Government of India, we have not restricted that only this much and only that. There's no upper cap as such defined, because every sector has a different kind of requirement. So the kind of funding that's required to put up a nanoscience technology business incubator would be very different from an agriculture technology business incubator. Either of them can be more or less depending on what is your specific area of focus. So here again, proposals have been received and reviewed. This is a scheme which goes on for 5 years. And the applications can be sent throughout the year. Committee meets twice in a year to decide an award. So all of you are more than welcome to kindly look up our website and study the thing, and please apply. Here again, we have received proposals, but the areas of operation that have been received in proposals is people have listed 20 domains. That's like Government of India would also not be able. So you want to solve sanitation, solid waste management, energy. Everything is put up in one small technology business incubator. So I think the rollout plan has to be run once completely in your mind, and then you decide what specific domain you want to focus on. Please look up. Forms are available online, and you're more than free to just call us and let us know about it. There are several other things which the department is doing. In the current 5-year plan, which is 2012 to 17, geriatrics has figured for the first time. And when you look at number of MD geriatrics which are produced in our country from publicly funded medical institutions, the number is not more than digits on both your hands put together. So MD geriatricians are about 8 or 10 in number, seats per annum, right? So there was an opportunity for IT department to actually look at what's happening in society these days. The structure of society is changing from a joint family where taking care of young ones and old is just absorbed across the number of people. Now the families are getting smaller and smaller. So we decided to start a program called Karnataka's Initiative on Technology-Based Solutions for Elderly KITE. Here we are not talking about disease and medicine. We are talking about creating technology which can help the elderly to remain active and self-reliant and have an improved quality of life because of their frailing health and declining physical condition. So we got a group of engineers, geriatricians, senior citizen clinic experts, and product designers, and us as facilitators from the government to identify pain points which commonly arise. A list of about 20 was identified, and we submitted a proposal to Government of India for partial funding. We received the funding. Indian Institute of Science has been the implementing agency, that is the prototypes are being developed there and tested there. We got funding to make 5 different products which are relevant to Indian elderly, not Western elderly, because if you look at the way Western society and Western infrastructure is very different from the way it is here. So problems here, solutions relevant to this place is what the government has been doing. Then there is another program which is now in its 2nd year, which is called Chetana. This program is aimed at looking at girl toppers from government schools who have topped in SSLC, that is the 10th standard public exam. So these girls are identified and they are given 1 year of mentoring and technology introduction. So we give them a device. Last year, Samsung had sponsored to give them Chromebooks. We give them a technology-based device and then train them on how to use it. Then also give them exposure to several industries within the orientation camp of 8 days that is conducted in Infosys Mysore campus. Provide them an interactive opportunity with leaders in various fields like the medicine, engineering, industry, public administration, police, and send them to various industries for short 1-day long internship. Post that orientation camp, we conduct a winter school where, based on their choice, they are provided an opportunity to have a technology-based or an area-specific based deep dive of 15 days. The partnering implementation in this winter school with the government is institutions like IISc and JNCSR, Agricultural University in Bangalore, IIITB, Professor Shargopans, IBABCAG. So there's about 11 institutions which have partnered with the government. First batch of these Chetna scholars have found this exercise extremely useful. Samsung has found this part of the work which they collaborate with government under their CSR very, very fulfilling. So Samsung has agreed to partner with the government for another 3 years at least. This year, they were wanting to give 400 devices, but based on the criteria of 95% and above, which was used last year to identify 358 girls, when we looked at the result of this year with 95% and above from the government school, from 358 we got 747 girls. So it was a very positive outcome that we got. And when I communicated this to Samsung saying to be able to have 400, we'll have to move up the percentage to 97. They just turned around and said, don't worry, we'll cover it completely. So I think, when, yes. Do we enable funds for them to go to college? So we are not intervening in their regular. Yes, we are providing them exposure, mentoring, and providing them support in any kind of requirements that they have in that particular skilling training area. But no, we do not cover the college tuition fees, no. However, there are people who have expressed desire to cover the cost of any student whose education is discontinued. Yeah, on that ground, actually, I should tell you one thing. The PU board did not capture the addresses of these students. The entire database that is captured is only revolving around school address and one mobile number to be able to SMS results. So anchoring from that mobile number, we call and we get their postal addresses. That's when last year we discovered that one of the students had to discontinue her education because yes. 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 Sure. So we do track them. We are setting up a portal to be able to track them. So far, we have discovered only one case where the girl had to stop her education because she lost her mother and her father, I think, married again or some such thing was happened. So she was sent back to her mother's, like the biological mother's house. So at that point of time, the vice president of Samsung actually put aside some money saying that any girl who requires cover of tuition fees for reasons like this, their cost will be covered. But, so this program is in its first year and we are open to ideas, and this is one such idea which I will carry back with me and certainly put it up. If there are any other feedbacks or inputs that you have, or if any one of you is interested in partnering or being a mentor for these girls, post their 12th standard or even while they are with us, I think there cannot be a better forum than this, where I request you to kindly onboard yourself and try and contribute to this particular section of society, which actually sometimes come from the most remotest areas. But these girls look very, not very, vocal and strong. But once they're comfortable, then you actually wonder the opinion that you had at the first impression was exactly opposite to what you have in the end. So with this, if there's anything else, we are all here to help facilitate enable. And the panel discussion questions, as I said in the beginning, can always be sent, and I will for sure revert. Okay? Thank you so much.
Present the success story which has been done in Amrita College of Engineering in Kollam. Please, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Wow, while they're setting up the presentation, I just wanted to kind of appreciate the ISA and the SSI for this great inspiring. So coming from the academic community, it's quite inspiring that industry people are reaching out. In fact, I myself had a run of industry 20 years in US. So it's kind of I am on this side now from the industry to academics. So so it's quite inspiring. So I was told to talk about success stories of Amrita University's campus incubation and the success stories in terms of building entrepreneurs and then contributing products into the innovations to the society. So I just want to briefly kind of talk about the Amrita TBI, is called Business Incubator, the facts and figures and the infographic of what we have been doing in this under this Amrita TBI, and probably talk about a couple of success stories out of the incubate of our incubatees, and I will also share some some kind of experiences in the last some 5-6 years where we had a tremendous growth in the IT space, in technology space. So first of all, the Amrita University's incubation is empowered by our Chancellor Mata Amarthanandamai. So just the one salient features, because it's like a fuel and the power and the energy behind our all our achievements so far and the contributions to the society on facets, right from the toilet technologies to the Mars lands rover technology. So Amma has been an inspiration behind our kind of innovations in that. So this little bit about the accolades about Amrita University, because it's very pivotal that we tap into just in the afternoon session we talked about how like 4 years to within 4 years with some few interactions, industries, couple of companies came in, and then few industrials, passionate industries wanted to give back to the their colleges. They were able to make a huge difference, right? So we all know that it's like preaching to the choir. I mean, we all know that it has to it has come from the kind of researchers, academics. Everything today we talk about Intel's Pentiums or whatever it all starts from engineering. So we have faculties on more than 1,700, and then we have 5 campuses in all 5 cities in 3 states, and we have 20 plus research centers. So all these research centers, they focus on different domain and they have different problem, different application. They touch different facets of the society, right? Like I said, right from the self-help group, into the villages, in the farming, and then the wireless networks, and then e-commerce. Whatever, we have different research centers where we have a lot of industrialists working in that. And we have 10,000 plus publications. We have 100 plus core technology technology built, and some of them patented. Combination of hardware, firmware, software, all that stuff. So we have the kind of the main core of the startups is IT, where we work with the nuts and bolts of technology, and we produce this technology portfolio derived from various sources, various energy sources. Starting from the center, I talked about our university centers, and then we have research expertise coming in from our own labs, and then we have multinational companies all over the world where we form industry board, virtual board, and then they talk about they talk about ideas, they mentor, they also provide financial support, and then feed into this our startup ecosystem, and then we go, like we have a portfolio, and then we derive value from all this, and then take it to the marketplace. So some numbers here, and this is about locations. We have Kollam 3, Bangalore, Coimbatore. We have office facilities, cubicles, just typical TBI, like, I think we'll qualify. And one factor what Mr. Vivek is telling, that we have the TBI up and running from 2009. We are going last 4 years we really ramped up. So we're going to talk about some numbers. So this is about the numbers there, the infographic about the strategy we have. We work on niche areas here. We see the lot of play in the hardware play there. We see big play in the semiconductors and the big data analytics and consumer stuff. So we have very less play on the social impact, because social enterprises is taken care by our parent organization, that's our MAT. So we do tremendous impact in that. So we have been asked to work on the technology part, touching the high tech part. So, and then we inside the startup ecosystem, like I talked about, we kind of 360 we cover in terms of taking the from the idea to the marketplace. And then some facts here. The thing is, we'll dwell a little bit deep into that. So some of the salient facts I wanted to point out is, like, which probably is kind of pragmatic out there in that our input, our applications, numbers we see that 2,000 plus, right? So we have extreme vetting, very very severe vetting going on there, and then we select around 3%. That's, we are talking about 60 plus startups. So we incubate, and out of a whole 7 years we have done some 60 startups incubated, and then other big fact is the performance of our startups. It's 0% loss from investments. So as you know, it's quite surprising. We'll know. We'll probably see in a bit how we do that. Like everybody emphasized, like partners are very important. Right from the host institute, our TBAs are hosted inside our university campuses, and then we derive a lot of energy and then kind of mentoring from the from our internal partner, and then we have outreach partners, legal, all the way to the government. So it's a whole suite of partners we have in all aspects of developing a product. So internally, if you look at our internal Namrata universities, partners, that is host institute partners, what value bring in? Yeah, okay, we'll do that. Yeah, okay, yeah. So some of them, some of the R&D internal outputs of results of our R&D is not captured in the slide. I'll just talk a little bit, impromptu on that. So I'll write this. These are all various things, like So another thing is very important, like how one or handful of mentors, handful of change makers can transform our kids there, from the students to kind of billionaires or millionaires out there. So we have world-class mentors out here. We see that angel investors, some of them are competitors too. We all we are all in the business, right? So we have space for everyone. So some of the mentors here are also, we are competing in different. Amrita TBA itself is a commercial entity. We compete with the Intel Angel. We work with the 10K startups. We are kind of competition, as well as we help each other out in that. So we have a flagship event every year. We have Pitch Fest, and then recently, we concluded Pitch Fest. We had a tremendous success. We had around 700 startups, applying for it. We kind of vetted out some 6 startups where we had a pot of $300,000, and it was earlier it was 200,000 that we got up into the 300K, so these are all partners in that. So we invite applications from all over the world, all over India, and anybody in that. So we have top 30 startups that we have incubated so far. And then Amrita Advantage, we have, so let me go to the success stories. Yeah, So let's talk about some success stories. This company is called Acceleron. I myself used to work for a big large system system server vendor like NetApp and all that. So it's like this guy came in like 3 years ago with an idea that I wanted to have a consolidated kind of a box, like data center in a box for for mom and pop shops, or it could be a small e-commerce vendor. Somebody wants to go from brick and mortar to the e-commerce. So I wanted to create a small box there where everything is there, like clouds and applications, web services, hosting, DRs, and then acceleration, all possible things. So he wanted to do that. So we started working with them. We had internal mentors working with that, and then look here, look what has happened. 2015, he won a I think he won 1 crore award from the Intel for in the top in the after extreme betting. So that he got, and then he also the Intel went beyond that, and then we had Intel Ventures probably funding that box. It's like a huge, like it. You can see the whole picture. It's like $1 million box, probably sold for say 100K in India. So Indian market, bringing up business under 100K with a large e-commerce, with no dependence on the any of the Amazon or other cloud vendors. It's a big deal. So this is one success story where we have a hardware box out there, and then is likely to be accelerated by Intel Ventures as well. So another one was Pushkara, and then it's incubated from Amrita University, and then this company got a buyout offer from US, like 200K. So this kind of it's like a stealth mode. I cannot disclose fully the whole product features, but I can tell you this is the hardware box. We had done some custom application ASIC, and then it was integrated in a board, and then we ran through vigorous pilot, and then the guide buyout offer from the particular vertical in US was 200K, but we are still sitting on that offer, so we have not gone ahead. So this is another great success story where we build products, hardware, tangible products. And then the other brilliant thing is like the next generation. What we are looking at is AR, virtual reality and augmented reality. So this company, Prex company, he had built a kind of a very novel, it's one of a kind. I think it was built 3-4 years ago, a very futuristic thing. So he had a product, it's kind of a virtual mall. If you want to go to the Messi, or when you want to go to Big Bazaar or any mini mall, you can just go through that, and the Manison was the first customer. So again, the bigger achievement for this guy is this notable achievement. Like last year, this Prex.com competed in Korea. This startup challenge. So there were 2,400 startups. Not just any university campus incubator startup. It's like any startup there in the planet. So they had 2,400 startups. This guy came second place. So that's a big achievement. We should be proud about it. Right there in the Korea. And then some of the outcomes came from our student community. Like it could be like I'm not prepared to talk about our achievements of our students in Amrita University per se, but this one thing that we talk about in that, and then it's not just an application. Like there are many things coming out of a university part also. So we are big time in the Google summer of challenge thing, and then we got some 3 or 4 big innovations coming out of students. Some of the important achievements is not just about incubating there. We also look at the follow-on funding. We go close into the we have a very flexible exit strategy. All said and done, the kids out there, they can easy to say, sitting there after going through some $2 or $3 million entrepreneurship there, we can sit and say, hey, why don't you do that? So it's always a risk there. First time is always a risk, right? So today it's crowded, where entrepreneurship is been kind of is flooded. They kind of preached all over all parts of the world. But we have to be pragmatic that they have to see the money. When do you see the money? So that's important. So that's where we work towards that also, to make sure that exit strategy is break even, win-win situation. So like I said, none of our every loan we can see that the full payback. So all loans that have been paid back to the TBI, and then we have buyout offers, we have accelerated ventures. So none of their our investments have failed, and then that shows also our commitment from the our mentors and also the entrepreneurs. And we have an internal another company incubated, that's Amrita Technologies, where it's one of the top hospital management solutions. So that's again it's on the ground now. And this anyway ranking is important in the way we also have to kind of assess where we are in the kind of position where we stand in the international world class level. So ET, I think based on some various metrics, some million metrics there. So it ranked, we are fourth in the India in terms of efficiency and performance of TBI. And ecosystem entrepreneur, they recognized in top 25. And then this is the most recent achievement we want to be proud of. And then under our own kind of inspirational leadership from Narendra Modi ji. Yes, last year he said that not only government institutions and all that, we will go all out for even private investments. So in that under that mission, and then part of the scheme was to select some startups, incubators in India, and then they'll make it world class. Like they're going to take it to the next level. So that probably we'll be waiting out some business proposals from the US or EU, or it could be Korea, or it could be anywhere. So we become one of like just like any other ventures from US or so we'll be part of the global map. So out of 232 applications, that includes private TBAs also, private incubators and VCs. So we are selected in top 6. So and then there's a huge kind of interest to invest into our TBI. Whoever is selected. So I think some from the government, she was talking about domain-specific hubs they want to create. So we are going to do a series of startups. For domain specific, starting with security. We want to build some security, cyber security related startups, starting with that. And then this is about TBI. Let me share a few stories about success stories out of our research lab. So and then last year we had a delegation from ISA, including Venkatesh and people. They came there and then they visited our labs. And then under the Amrita University, we under the leadership of Amma, we try to solve some societal problems. For example, we have a situation in the ocean side for fishermen to go out in the ocean for some 3 days, 4 days. They go out there, and then they kind of they are out of the system. So they don't have access to the GPS. They don't have access to the weather or any sudden changes or emergency, whatever. So they don't have any information there. So what we did was to create a project, where we call it as Ocean Net. So up until 40 kilometers into the ocean, we build a net. So it's a combination of onboard on the ship, transmitter, and then on the line of sight, the ground controlling station, where it will transmit, and then it will create a network for you. So it will create an internet for you from basic data services, basic telecom services, and then any other applications that are really important for the fishermen were implemented in that. So this last year was inaugurated by a prime minister or the virtual conference thing. So it is now on the ground now. So that is one achievement we talk about. It's a whole, we all want to talk about not just chip or something. It's no disrespect to the chip or IC. So we want to make sure that we see it as an application, and then we come from there. So what are the requirements to solve the application? It could be a combination of hardware, software, design. So many of the products that we do are designed completely, like many people talked about. It's like we are looking towards that fabulous design phase. Then it's very good for Indian kind of engineers that to design, and then we can verify and do all that stuff, and then get it manufactured somewhere else. I mean, kind of that's a model that we are also going. And then other one, we have built a whole sort of IoT products, right from the gateway to the sensors to the modes to the multi-protocol gateway. So again, we had the we had the investment to create a analytics stack also, big data stack also. So what I'm trying to tell you is that when we take our application, we go end to end. I think that's what we kind of encourage in our campus, thing also. So, and in that note, I also want to point out something, that industry. When I see that, and when I see the industry, when I see the academics, I think we should try to have some industrial visit for the faculties. So, like, my university, like probably last summer, they were asking about arranging a industrial visit for the students. I came back and then told that, industries, we really need the faculties to visit the industries. So training the trainers are important, and then industrial, like taking sabbatical from the academics, going to the industry. Industry should welcome that. That's a culture that drives the Western universities to develop intellectual properties. And then that is something that we have to do in in Indian context, which is not there anyway. Which is not there. We talk about sabbatical, leave of absence, and all that shit. But in India, we have not seen any professors leave alone. Be it in IIT or so, they do have incubation inside their research labs or whatever in their facility. But we are not seeing somebody taking a 2-3 years off, going into the industry, and then coming back, and then that kind of a cross pollination is very important for us to drive innovations out of the campuses. So with that, I thank IEC for the opportunity, and then I make open call to anybody. And again, somebody said that partnering with another university, like tier 3 city or tier 2 city, whatever, it doesn't matter where it is. It's not about city, I would say. It's like it's a flattened, the physical space is flattened. We are all working in digital space. So I think that cannot be reason for not having innovation. That's what I would tell you. So like somebody told the Professor Panda, that we have to reach out, and then we should be able to create partnerships on the digital space, not in the physical space. And then I think this classification of tier 1, all this should go away, and then where we just see India as a digital India, like we have to go with that. So with that I welcome any partnerships to our TBI, Amrita TBI, in terms of in terms of receiving applications for our pitch fest, in terms of partnerships, in terms of government partnerships and training and capacity building. We also do regular boot camps for the entrepreneurs. We invite around every month. We are mandated by the government to do that. So we welcome within your in your neighborhood, whatever in your region. If you think you cannot do that, then you can divert that to us. Our address is there. Please go ahead and then take a look at namartatba.com. Thank you, Rosha.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Prabhakar, for giving us the insights with regard to the developments at Amrita. I'm sure all of us are pointing towards the same thing, that all of us need to come together to make this transformation happen. And this vehicle of Netra, IESA and ESSCI coming together should see the participation of each and every institute which has been successful, which wants to be successful, which wants to take things forward in a big way. With this, I think the keynote session and case studies of success stories which have happened in academia is through. We now look forward to a short panel discussion, and we have with us a very esteemed panel as well. The panel will be moderated by the CEO of ESSCI, Mr. Mohapatra. And on this note, I would like to invite the panelists onto the small dais that we have here. Can we have one more chair, please? We've actually planned a panel discussion in a very strategic way. To make all this a successful, we have multiple verticals which need to come together. One is the academia, one is the government, one is the training and the industry. So we have representatives from each one of them, and unfortunately Dr. Mollishri had to leave a little early, so she will not be there on the panel. So from the industry, I would like to welcome the Vice President of Qualcomm, Mr. Venugopal Puada. Kindly come to the back. Yeah, and from the training space, I would request the CEO of RV VLSI, Mr. Venkatesh Prasad, to kindly come on the panel. And from the academic space, we have already heard the success stories which has been presented. I request Dr. Prabhakar to join us on the panel. Thank you.
Of being in this domain, we have some prior knowledge of what is going on and what we feel is what we are aiming for. So I put some preface to the question, and I just put a question, and I expect each one of them to answer it for us to understand in their perspective. We want to listen to their views on each of these questions to some extent to lead to some solutions. First question is, first idea is that we are talking about this seminar agenda is design-led manufacturing. We understand the value of it. It certainly creates higher value ESDM jobs, but for this the campus needs to be activated to take up the relevant training with actively industry participation, otherwise this doesn't happen. Question is, for the panelists, what are the requisites to enable a mindset of design for manufacturing in academia? You can start with you, sir.
Fully loaded question, I would say. It's like design is something that we understand.
It is. It is.
So I think we understand design, and then I think manufacturing is a word in terms of even leave alone ESDM. Any space I think we have not, India has not understood. That is my take. It's not a pessimistic view. I would say in the ESDM sector, when we go through the basics about IC design, all that stuff, verification, all that, and even Panda was telling that the power requirements, the pin layouts, the nanometer, and all that stuff. I think we don't have any lab for that. How to create a design for efficient manufacturing. Manufacturing today, I don't think we can talk about just assembly level. So it's kind of a high tech, and then many sophisticated processes is happening compared to 20 years ago, where we had to wait for that, and the tape out will happen. We cannot do mistakes, all that stuff. So I think probably we need to have some kind of a course or something part of the curriculum. We talk about live-in labs, where we talk about the internship for the med students. They're literally out there in the hospital, looking at the patients live there who are paying or not paying right there. The life is on the line. So similarly, I think we need to have some kind of module in any of their ESDM courses. It could be electronics, or it could be instrumentation, it could be all that, hardware, VLSI, all that. So it's not even happening in the MTech level. I think we have to probably start with BTech, where we just give some introduction to when we talk about Milman Halkias, where we create small models of control systems. For example, if we're creating a dam, or creating a small CNC model is possible in the labs today. We can do that. We can analyze that. We can simulate some data. We can do all that. But it's not right now prevalent in the this kind of manufacturing. ESDM manufacturing concept is not there. It's not it's not conceivable. I think that's what I would say. So that industry has to play a role, create a labs inside. Yeah, that's what.
Thank you.
My take.
Next, sir. Mr. Venugopal.
Yeah, so design for manufacturing is something that anyone who does productization will understand extremely well. So coming from Qualcomm, which is a fabless company, we understand this quite a bit. Why is that? For instance, 10 nanometer, we recently came out with Snapdragon 835, which is the world's first 10 nanometer chip that is out there in the market. And the journey has been very painful. Why is it painful? Well, when the chip came back, it was zero yield. That means out of 100 dies that are fabricated, none of them are working. So in fact, we had to piece together the working of the entire chip by making sure that a small part of it worked in one die, another small part in another die, and so on. So between 1,000 dies, we could somehow manage to actually test the whole chip and cover the whole chip. So design for manufacturing, I would say, is extremely important in high technology industry. And ESDM today is a high technology industry. So simple things like if I draw a transistor as a rectangle and if I send it to the fabrication unit, I will get zero yield again. I cannot draw it as a rectangle. I need to actually, no, initially I will draw it as a rectangle because otherwise I cannot make progress. But I need to smoothen the edges. I need to actually change that rectangle into a weird shape to make sure that it is actually realizable, manufacturable at a very high yield. So to me, design for manufacturing, design for test, design for yield, these are multiple areas that one needs to focus on to make sure that actually we can get a very cost efficient product in the end.
Thank you.
So in the academics, what we need to do is we should realize that there are tools. So for instance, if you have rectangles, there are tools that need to convert those rectangles to what we call as the optimal proximity correction. So we need to understand those concepts and convert it in such a way that actually it will become manufacturable. So, I mean, I don't want to give a list of all the things that need to be done, but unless we understand the connection between design and manufacturing and take those steps which happen pretty much in the, before we release to the manufacturing unit, you need to go through those steps. You won't be able to actually realize a productizable volume. Absolutely. I mean, there are definitely a lot of things that are confidential, but there are definitely a lot of things that are out there in the public domain, right? There are papers that are published. There are actually tools that are out there from the EDA vendors that one can use. So in that sense, I wouldn't say that this is something that is not understood. We just need to make sure that we go back to the, I mean, the theme of this, right? That industry academia partnership. Right, to me, that is the fundamental theme that we should focus on because the details are something that will depend whether it is a chip that we are fabricating or whether it is a capacitor that we are fabricating or something else. So depending on that, I think that partnership with the industry can bring out the best.
Venki, for your comment.
First of all, I'd like to thank ESSCI ISA for inviting me to the panel. So the question is, how do you enable a mindset for design for manufacturability? I'd like to bring in a slightly different perspective as to why we are even debating the question. I graduated in 91. My first job was Bharat Electronics. BA took 24 months to get even 1 single naya paisa worth of fees from me. So in those days, can you hear me? Yeah. So in those days, the ecosystem was such that the industry could absorb the cost of training, and likewise there was loyalty. People joined companies with the mindset that they would retire from those companies. Today the attrition rate is 2 years. So training a student coming out of college for 2 years is just out of the question. So having said that, I think that's where the relevance of this question comes. My view is, the mindset for design for manufacturability means that when talent comes out of the college, they must be productive. Now, for somebody to be productive, there are 4 elements of teaching. One is teach, second is show, third is watch, and the fourth is coach. I think traditionally in our academic setup, teach and show is very good. We have teachers who can teach. We have labs where they can show demos and what have you. What is missing is watching and coaching. The students make mistakes, get the skills and the experiential learning that we're talking about. So in my view, if we have to get this mindset in, we have to bring in the watch and coach element into the campus and academic setup.
Thank you. Question 2, we want to discuss. We understand training curriculum needs to be standardized because when we go across the country or before we stepped in 2-3 years back, we used to find same course, same name, different contents. We used to find a lot of difficulty. We are feeling, and the country also feels, for sake of all of us and for our youth to be less confused, we want the contents to be standardized somewhere. And there need to be consistency in delivery outcomes. The question arises is, how do we ensure consistency on content deliveries? What parameters are to be considered for evaluating outcomes of training programs? This is where the country differs a lot. The government has its own opinion only on numbers. We are seeing the industry looks at quality. So there are a lot of misunderstandings. So I expect this panelists to throw some light on this. We can start from you. Yeah.
Okay, I think the answer to this question lies with what you are doing. ESA is doing a fabulous job in putting out the QPs, getting the industry involved, working with industry bodies, and I think by and large, the matrices are available for standardization. It is a question of getting this, transferred to the individual colleges and academia. Um, there is plethora of information that is out there. The qualification packs are well done. I've personally reviewed some of them, and we are a recipient of these qualification packs in our institute. And people, the end customers are liking it. People are getting employed, and people are seeing value in this. So I think there is value in standardization. Absolutely, ESSA has gone down this path and started doing it. Um, the only suggestion that I would make is we should not go down the path of assessing people from a percentage CGPA, GPA perspective. We should rather assess them on the basis of productivity. If we can address that, I think we have this figured out. And of course, I guess we would want more and more academic institutions to start seeing value in this and participating in getting trained in this activity.
Thank you. Next, sir.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to content delivery, the first and foremost thing is how do we align on the content? And in fact, recently when the talent CIG led by Vivek actually started working with a few universities in looking at a particular course, a verification, a VLSI verification course. So the first and foremost thing that was done is to come up with, okay, what should be covered. So align with the industry representatives on what is the syllabus that should go in. That is the first thing. And the second thing is make sure that the content is delivered with an industry representative, at least in the initial phases. Because ultimately for the sake of scaling, we need to go beyond the industry trainers. We need to start with the industry trainers because ultimately we are talking about employability of the students so that they can get into companies and get productive probably on day 1 or day 2. So getting the industry trainers has definitely helped us. So for instance, I was involved with the verification course, and SEER Academy, which is an industry body, or industry funded body actually, delivered some of these courses. And looking at the outcomes, so in fact what I have done in the case of one of the institutes is the year before any of these interventions happened, we did a written test, a Qualcomm written test for a bunch of students. Guess what? Nobody cleared the test. The intervention happened a year later. We did the test again, and guess what? 70% of them cleared the test. So there itself you have, an immediate understanding of the outcome. So talking about the outcomes, I feel if we are interested in doing this intervention to make people more employable, we should get some of these companies and figure out how to actually do these tests before and after, in addition to, of course, the normal certification process and the tests that we do. This will make sure that we can really test whether they are passing the written test for these companies. And we should even do some mock interviews to understand whether folks are able to actually clear even that hurdle.
So Dr. Prabhakar.
The question is about training. So I'd like to point, most often people misinterpret what is teaching and training. So in the academics, we talk about teaching. Most of our curriculum, oriented toward pedagogy, is all oriented towards teaching some concepts and out of the textbooks, and then basics and foundational science or applied thing, whatever we talk about. It's all teaching there. It's more on theory, practicals, and all that. And when you get into the training part, training is applying what you've learned out there in the practice. That's what I would say term as training. Training is like you're there out there, you're ready to do the job there. So that require to do a job, you probably require training in the either on the problem, on the issues there, and the problem parameters, variables there, and the problem, and also what are the tools available to solve that problem. How to use those tools there. For example, verification, like you talked about, some verification tools are there, when design tools are there. And I think that training is about, it has to be done by there's no other way to think about it. For example, Cisco set the benchmark for the networking, so CCNA. So Java, Sun, and Oracle, they set up the inventors of Java. They set up the kind of a thing, and then the database. So there are only handful of companies, those days, like pioneers in particular technology, whatever you call it. So they set the benchmarks and metrics and parameters. So the whole content was founded on one or two pillars, verticals there. So every vertical you talk about, there is somebody there. Verification, cadence, training, blah blah blah. That's all. You go Cisco, go there, training. So I think Intel used to do for chip design and all that. So what I'm saying is, so each domain vertical, each application vertical probably should drive that the metrics and criteria to qualify that whatever the training first, training academy first. Training academy itself should be certified that this guy, all the trainers should be properly qualified to train that. So so today we don't have a bigger metric for for professors in the teaching and academy, including myself. I'm telling you, I didn't go through interview. Oh, okay, how did you teach this? How did you teach that? So every day we cannot ask the professors and faculties come and say what topic are you going to teach? Okay, can we have an interview on how we are going to teach? It's not possible. We cannot run the course, right? But on the training job there, it's you are on the money is involved. So people's lives are involved. So what I'm saying is training should be seen just like it's like a industry. Today is about money. So I don't think anybody gives training for free unless you are somewhere. So there is something in it, something in it for everyone there. So the outcome of the training should be like certified, or the academy which is giving training should be certified, and then we should come out some metrics and then do that. So I think it's a very fully loaded. Anything obviously should be should have a uniform standard. So these days people don't like standards anyways. So we are going away from standards.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next one is, we realize in our experience of last 2-3 years, and also generally this is a feeling everywhere, but I have ground experience of this. We find faculty training is a very critical factor, which is much more effective than content and facility. You need three things to deliver training. You need faculty, you need content, you need facility for technical trainings. We find content and facility people can buy, people can have it, some people can have it more than what they need, but we really lack the quality faculty. There is a need to bring in industry expert to train trainers, as we have been campaigning, and we believe the educational institute can transform having collaboration with industry. So you have visiting faculty, you have anyway you have faculties, so that you learn the experience of the industry. So leading that, the question is, what are the skills of a faculty should possess to ensure effective training? how do you choose or select a faculty who should be inducted into this kind of training, or how the industry participate to empower or benchmark the faculties? This is my question. But we need to go to campus and intervene with the faculty for sure. So to start with, Venugopal.
So actually, training the faculty is extremely important because, I mean, like I said before, even if you get industry to help do the training, scaling up will become a challenge. So if we can actually train the faculty and make sure that they understand how an industry is perceiving the need for ESDM course like a verification course, a physical design or embedded systems, it will make it much, much easier because they can then become the harbingers of getting a lot more people trained with the new concepts, with the new understanding of what the industry wants. I think there are two ideas that probably we can look at. So one is, of course, train the trainer through organizations like CR Academy or RVVLSI or other reputed organizations like that. That, of course, goes without saying. The second thing probably we need to explore, and we'll have to see, Mr. Mohapatra, how we enable this, is almost enabling, I mean, just like students do internships in the industry, maybe we need to enable faculty also to do an internship. Now, I need to be careful here. I mean, I'm not meaning it in a rude or negative way, but just to make sure that they go through the grind for a cycle or two along with industry and figure out what happens. Now, I know for sure that, I mean, right now in Qualcomm, we don't have a policy that will enable this, but so that's where I'm
That's a
sure we need
challenge.
to figure this out. We need to put our heads together and see if we can enable that. Maybe that can, in addition to the first item, help a long way.
Okay. Venkat.
It's a very relevant question, and I think that's actually the crux of the problem, in my view. Uh, Training the trainers is actually, in my view, an upskilling. Training a fresher is, from scratch, but training mature learners like college faculty, to me, is upskilling, battle skilling. They know the concepts. To some part, they know the application of the concepts, which means adopting technology, adopting something like the blended learning courses, adopting online courses, the flipped classroom model, is something which will work really well in my opinion. So transferring the industry perspective, transferring what the industry wants to say, using technology will be a very effective way to scale, coupled with using the infrastructure that already exists in the college. I know every college today has either a mentor or a cadence or a synopsis tool. They have access to tech, and I'm speaking from a VLSI perspective. They have all the technology in place. If they also get to know what to teach, how to teach, and who should teach, I think we have a very effective solution in place. We should come up with some timelines as to how much time is a good enough time to skill the faculty. What we have found is around 400 to 500 hours of using the tool, breaking a design, debugging a solution is quite effective initially. And then as time goes by, maybe every 6 months or every 8 months, we could do recertification, talk about the incremental changes that are happening, what is changing in technology, and so on and so forth. So that's my view on getting the faculty trained, which is actually very important.
Can I get Dr. Prabhakar's view?
Yeah, I think it's kind of following from my previous answer to the previous question. It's like, in fact, during the speech I was talking about having an industrial visit for the faculties, not for the students. I think he took it to the next extent. We need to have some faculty internship. That is very important. And today, the employability ratio is very miserable, like 10%. We are talking about 12 lakh students, engineering students passing out every year. And then employability is 10%. That's 1 lakh students. Employable, that they were able to do something. So we are 90% of our time, you can turn back and ask the universities, the academia, that are 90% of your efforts, whatever way you slice it. Is it waste? Is it useless? I don't know. because I got into the academia with 25 years of experience behind me. So when I go there, I see every class, every student, I see just like another one engineer working for me. So like I think it's very important that you need to have a hands-on experience in the industry, or not necessarily industry, solving real life problems. I would not say just industry. I think it's too commercially, or I don't want to sound like that. So government cannot be industry, right? So we look at the real world problems. Training is about training is um, about making sure they can solve real life problems. So what I'm saying is the kind of a we cannot expect any criteria. How can you substitute the real life experience with anything? However way you teach it, however way you train it, it's not substitutable. So the answer is part of the question, that you need to really have some program with academia and industry or government giving real life problems. For example, there are some grants from DST or DATE or MIT, or from industrial grants we have received from so many years, but it all goes towards defense. It's very tough to hand over to academy some problem that undermines the money, the investment from the investors, or solving business or solving customers, right? It's very risk there. We can asking the industry to take. It's a big big pill to swallow. It's not possible. So somewhere we have to find a balance. I don't think we can solve 100% that all the academia to be that. Then there's no difference. All the companies drive the universities. So that could be the question, right? let shut down all the universities. All the professors know nothing. So you just go just like any other. Some countries have entire impose, right? Everybody in the country should be a military. Should be part of the military. Some countries do that. Similarly, you can say every industry, you hire only industry people. Simple as that. No PhD nor postdoc doesn't make any shit there. You just go, get some 2-3 years of training, just like MBBS. Go there, solve some real problems, and come back and then start teaching. So, who are we ready to do that? Are you or the industry people ready to wear a teaching hat? So flip the question. Or you are talking about pushing everything, whether academic, what metrics? Who are we to set the criteria for any academicians to be qualified to be a trainer? See what I'm saying? So the problem is not about you just have to satisfy the expectation. It's not about you demanding something that you are a teacher. You should have that much qualification criteria so that you can train somebody. So what I'm saying is there should be some balance. There should be some very highest level policy from across the across all the agencies, private as well as government, how to solve that, how to make people employable, how to make every student that is coming out of it, and then how to make sure that every faculty is able to make a difference, right? Even US we never had that. What I'm saying is you go back and ask the questions to Stanford or MIT or Harvard or wherever industries we talked about, only 20% of the people carry the 80% of the load. That's the equation today, even in US universities. So I think it's something. It's a very objectively we have to look at it, not just one-sided. Like it's not like across the table we cannot